Welcome back to OldCoin Secrets, the home for rare, mysterious, and valuable U.S. coins that continue to surprise collectors around the world. In 1943, America was at war. Every ounce of metal, every resource, every man and woman, and all dedicated to victory. Steel was used for tanks. Copper was needed for bullets, wires, and weapons. So when it came to the humble penny, the U.S. Mint made a bold change. But in that rush to serve the war effort, something unexpected, almost impossible, happened. A few Lincoln cents were struck not in steel, but in bronze, and that small mistake turned a 1-cent coin into a $1 million legend. This is the story of the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, a wartime miracle, a minting mystery, and one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history, the war that changed the penny. By 1942, America was deep in World War II. The U.S. Mint faced a problem. Copper was in critical demand for ammunition and communications equipment. To save metal for the war, Congress authorized the mint to change the penny's composition. So beginning in 1943, the mint replaced bronze, 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc, with a new material, zinc-coated steel. That year, nearly 1 billion steel pennies were produced across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. They were gray, magnetic, and shiny, completely unlike any penny before or after. But hidden among those billions of steel cents, a few mistakes slipped through, pennies struck on, leftover bronze planchets from 1942. Those errors became the 1943 bronze Lincoln cents, and they would become some of the most valuable coins ever struck. How the error happened. So how did a copper penny end up in 1943 when all cents were supposed to be steel? The answer lies in the chaos of the transition. At the end of 1942, the mint was switching its machinery to the new steel planchets, but a handful of leftover bronze blanks, likely lodged in the coin presses or hoppers, remained in the system. When mint workers began striking the new 1943 steel cents, those leftover bronze planchets accidentally went through, creating one of the most famous minting errors in U.S. history. Each bronze 1943 penny is unique. A rare survivor of a moment when human oversight met wartime urgency. How to identify the 1943 bronze cent? Because this coin is so famous, thousands of fake ones exist. So collectors must be careful and know exactly what to look for. Uno color. The 1943 bronze cent has a reddish-brown or golden tone, unlike the silver-gray color of the steel cent. Zwei Magnettest. A true bronze 1943 penny is not magnetic. If it sticks to a magnet, it's steel, not bronze. Weight. Bronze penny 3.11 grams. Steel penny 2.7 grams. 4. Mint marks. Known genuine examples come from 3 mints. Philadelphia, no mint mark, the most common of the rare. Denver, Huddy mint mark, only 1 confirmed. San Francisco, S, just a few known. Every genuine piece has been carefully verified by experts like PCGS and NGC, and fakes are immediately spotted by their plating or altered dates, rarity, and known examples. The exact number of surviving 1943 bronze cents is unknown, but estimates suggest no more than 20 authentic examples exist in the entire world. Philadelphia Mint, around 15 known. San Francisco Mint, fewer than 6 confirmed. Denver Mint, only 1 known genuine coin, making it one of the most valuable pennies in U.S. history. This rarity is why each discovery still makes headlines, because each coin is worth a fortune. Famous discoveries. The first 1943 bronze cent was discovered in 1947 by a teenage collector from Massachusetts. He found it in a roll of change, and it caused national excitement. For decades, more examples surfaced, usually found in circulation or old collections. But one discovery shocked the coin world. The unique 1943 D bronze Lincoln cent. This coin was authenticated and graded MS64BN by PCGS, and in 2021 it sold at auction for over $175 million. Each time one of these coins sells, it writes a new chapter in American numismatic legend, market value, and record prices. Because of their extreme rarity, prices for these coins have skyrocketed over time. Here's a look at their historical and current value range. Mint. Grade. Recent market value. 1943, Philadelphia. VFXF. 150,000, 300,000. 1943, Philadelphia. AUMS. $400,000, $800,000. 943S, San Francisco. AUMS, $500,000, $900,000. 1943D, Denver, unique. MS64BN, 175 million, 2.1 million plus. Even a heavily worn example could easily pay off your house. For collectors, this coin is the holy grail of U.S. pennies. Why it's so valuable? The 1943 bronze Lincoln cent is valuable, not just for its rarity, but because it represents an accidental piece of history. It's a coin that wasn't supposed to exist, a minting fluke born in a time of war. And beyond rarity, it's also symbolic. A small copper coin that survived a world consumed by steel and conflict. Collectors see it as a miracle, a tangible reminder of how even the smallest details can change everything. Technical details. Feature. Specification. Composition. 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight. 311 grams. Diameter. Divinity. Edge. Plain. Designer. Victor David Brenner. Obverse. Abraham Lincoln's profile. Reverse. Wheat ears with 1 cent. Mints. Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco. Cultural impact and legacy. The story of the 1943 bronze cent has transcended the world of collectors. It's appeared in books, documentaries, and even Hollywood films as a symbol of luck and mystery. For kids growing up in the 1950s and 60s, finding a 1943 copper penny was the ultimate dream, a myth come to life. Even today, millions of people check their old jars and drawers, hoping to find one of these elusive treasures. That hope, that tiny spark of possibility, keeps the legend alive. Famous quote from a collector. The 1943 bronze cent is the coin that made America fall in love with pennies again. It proved that even a small mistake can be priceless. David Bowers, numismatist and historian. Tips for collectors. If you ever believe you've found one, don't clean it, don't polish it, and don't sell it on eBay immediately. Get it professionally authenticated by PCGS or NGC. Never trust magnet test only. Many fakes are copper-plated steel. Compare weight carefully. Genuine coins are slightly heavier. If it's real, congratulations. You found a national treasure. The symbolism of survival. In a way, the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent represents America itself. Born in a time of sacrifice shaped by human error, and surviving against all odds. It's small but strong, humble but historic, a single cent that carries the story of an entire nation. When you hold one, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a miracle forged in the fires of war. The 1943 bronze Lincoln cent is more than a coin. It's a living legend, a story of chance, history, and human imperfection that turned into perfection. It reminds us that even in times of conflict and chaos, beauty and rarity can emerge. And sometimes the smallest mistakes can create the greatest treasures. So next time you hold a penny, look closer, because history might be hiding in the palm of your hand. And that's the incredible story of the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, a coin born by accident, cherished by collectors, and still shining as one of the most valuable U.S. coins ever struck. Coin number 2, 1937D. Three-legged buffalo nickel, famous minting error. A coin born from a minting accident, yet celebrated as one of the most famous and desirable errors in U.S. coin history. So what makes a buffalo lose one leg? And how did that turn a simple 5-cent coin into a collector's dream worth thousands of dollars? Let's uncover the secret behind this iconic piece of American history. The birth of the Buffalo Nickel series. Before we jump into the rare 1937D variety, let's go back to the roots. The Buffalo Nickel, officially called the Indian Head Nickel, was introduced in 1913. It replaced the Liberty Head Nickel and featured two powerful American symbols and a proud Native American on the obverse and a massive American bison on the reverse. The design was the work of James Earl Fraser, a student of legendary sculptor Augustus St. Gaudens. Fraser wanted the coin to represent the spirit of the American frontier, rugged, bold, and proud. The Native American face was said to be a composite of 3 real chiefs: Iron-Tail Sioux, Two Moons Cheyenne, and possibly John Big Tree Seneca. The buffalo, meanwhile, was modeled after Black Diamond, a famous bison who lived at the Bronx Zoo. From 1913 to 1938, this coin became one of the most beloved designs ever placed into American pockets, but by the 1930s, something unusual was brewing at the Denver Mint. The 1937D error, how a buffalo lost its leg. Now we come to the heart of the mystery. The 1937D three-legged buffalo. In 1937, the Denver Mint was producing buffalo nickels for circulation. As the dies wore down from constant use, mint workers needed to polish and resurface them to extend their life. But one day during that process, a mint employee got a little too enthusiastic with the polishing wheel. While trying to remove die clash marks, accidental impressions from the coin press, he overpolished one of the reverse dies. The result? The front leg of the buffalo, the one nearest to the viewer, was completely removed from the design. Only the hoof remained faintly visible, making it look like the buffalo was standing awkwardly on three legs. No one at the mint noticed the mistake right away. Thousands of coins were struck before anyone caught on, and by the time they did, it was too late. The error coins had already entered circulation. How to identify a real 1937D three-legged buffalo nickel? Collectors are always cautious, after all. With such a famous coin, fakes are everywhere. So how do you spot an authentic one? Here are key identifiers. Mint mark D, located below 5 cents on the reverse for Denver Mint. Missing front leg, only 3 legs visible on the buffalo. Mound under buffalo's belly, more curved and smooth than normal. Dipolish lines, visible near the missing leg and underneath the belly. Weak foreleg area. Some faint trace of a hoof can still be seen. If your coin matches these signs, you could be holding one of the most famous minting blunders in U.S. history. Why the 1937D error became so famous? There have been many error coins, but the 1937D three-legged buffalo nickel achieved legendary fame for 3 main reasons. It's visually obvious. Even beginners can see the missing leg without magnification. It's connected to a beloved design, the buffalo. Nickel is already one of America's most iconic coins. It's a perfect mistake, an error that's both dramatic and artistic, not ugly or minor. By the 1950s, collectors were already hunting these nickels obsessively. Magazines, coin shops, and even local newspapers covered stories of lucky people finding them in pocket change. This made it one of the first coins in American history to become a pop culture phenomenon. Rarity and market value. The exact number of 1937D three-legged buffalo nickels struck isn't known, but estimates suggest no more than 10,000 to 15,000 survived. Here's how the coin's value breaks down in today's market. Good, G4, $600, $900. Fine, F12, $1,000, $1,500. Extremely fine, EF40, $2,000, $3,500. About uncirculated, AU50, $4,000, $6,000. Mint state, MS60 to MS65, 8,000, 15,000 pliers. Gem specimen, MS66 or better, over 20,000 or 30,000, depending on luster and strike. Auction highlight. In 2021, an MS66 example sold for over $36,000 at heritage auctions. This shows that even a small 5-cent piece, when mixed with history and rarity, can be worth more than a brand new car. Collector tips. Always get your 1937D coins authenticated by NGC or PCGS before buying or selling. Be cautious of altered coins. Some regular 1937D nickels are polished or ground down to fake the missing leg. The details in the fur and hoof area are the best way to confirm a real example. Collectors love this coin not just for its rarity, but because it represents a moment when human imperfection created lasting beauty. Cultural significance. The three-legged buffalo is more than just a minting error. It's a snapshot of America's industrial era, when machines ruled and people still took pride in craftsmanship. It reminds us that even in mistakes, there's a story worth telling. This single coin bridges art, error, and history, and that's what makes it timeless. Today, it's one of the most collected nickels in U.S. history, sitting alongside legends like the 1913 Liberty nickel and 1943 copper penny. The 1937D three-legged buffalo nickel isn't just valuable, it's iconic. It tells a story of a moment when a routine job at the Denver Mint accidentally created a masterpiece that would fascinate generations of collectors. From a 5-cent coin to a $30,000 treasure, it proves that sometimes the greatest value comes from imperfection. If you ever find one in your collection, hold on to it. You're holding a piece of American minting history. And that's the story of the 1937D. Three-legged buffalo nickel. A coin that turned a mistake into millions of dollars in collector value. Coin number 3, 1955 double-die obverse Lincoln cent. Imagine waking up one morning in 1955, reaching for your morning newspaper, and noticing something strange about the coin you used to pay for it. The words, "In God We Trust," look doubled. The word liberty seems like it has a shadow. That tiny mistake, unnoticed by the U.S. Mint, would go on to become one of the most famous and valuable error coins in American history. The 1955 double-die obverse Lincoln cent. This is not just another coin. It's the one that turned casual Americans into treasure hunters overnight. A coin that became the face of modern coin collecting mania. A quick look at the Lincoln cent. Before diving into the famous 1955 error, let's rewind for a moment. The Lincoln cent was first minted in 1909. Created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head cent and became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real person, the nation's beloved 16th president. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin's obverse featured Lincoln's portrait and the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty and the Year of Issue." The reverse showed 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing prosperity and growth. Hence the nickname Wheat Penny. By 1955, the Lincoln cent was already a symbol of American pride. Simple, sturdy, and everywhere. But that year, an innocent mechanical flaw would give birth to one of the most recognizable errors in U.S. coin history, the birth of the 1955 double die. So what actually happened at the Philadelphia Mint in 1955? During the die-making process, the Mint used a technique called hub doubling. When a working die was created, it had to be impressed multiple times with a master hub, perfectly aligned each time, to transfer the design completely. But in this case, the hub and die were misaligned between impressions. The result? A dramatic doubling effect on all the major obverse elements. Liberty, in God We Trust, and the date 1955. This wasn't a subtle shift. It was so bold that even a quick glance made the coin look like it had been printed twice. The reverse, however, remained perfectly normal. The doubling only appeared on the obverse affront. The discovery, a coin in the dark. Here's where things get interesting. When the error occurred, the Mint didn't notice it right away. The misaligned dies were used to strike roughly 20,000 to 24,000 cents, mixed in with millions of normal coins. Instead of being destroyed, these coins were accidentally released into circulation, mainly through cigarette vending machines in Massachusetts and New York. When people received their change, they noticed the odd doubling, and curiosity spread like wildfire. For just 1 cent, someone could now own what would later become one of the most iconic numismatic treasures of all time. How to identify a genuine 1955 double die? Because this coin is so famous, it's also one of the most counterfeited in history. So if you ever come across one, here's what to look for. Bold doubling on the obverse. The doubling is very strong on Liberty. And In God We Trust, the date 1955, also shows clear separation. Normal reverse. The reverse side has no doubling. It's a standard wheat reverse. Mint mark. There's no mint mark, as all 1955 double die cents were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Weight and composition. The coin weighs 3.11 grams, made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. DeMarcos. Original examples show light die scratches and slight weakness near the lower parts of Liberty. If your coin checks these boxes, you may be holding one of America's most legendary cents. Why it became a cultural phenomenon. The 1955 double die cent wasn't just a collector's dream. It became a national news story. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, articles in magazines, newspapers, and coin journals made it a household name. Teenagers, factory workers, and families began searching every cent in their pocket change. Coin dealers placed ads offering to buy them for $50, $100, or even $500, huge money for a 1-cent coin back then. It was the first coin that truly captured the imagination of the public. People weren't just collecting, they were hunting. The 1955 double die Lincoln cent is credited with launching the modern era of coin collecting in America. Current market value. Even after all these years, the coin remains highly sought after. Its value depends on condition, and condition makes a huge difference. Here's a general breakdown. Good, G4, $1,200, $1,600. Fine, F12, $1,800, $2,500. Extremely fine, XF40, $3,500, $5,000. About uncirculated, AU50, $6,000, $9,000. Uncirculated, MS60, $12,000, $15,000. Gem uncirculated, MS65 red, $25,000, $40,000 plus. Auction record. A brilliant red specimen graded FAS65RD by PCGS sold for $50,000 in a major heritage auction. So yes, a 1-cent coin can indeed be worth more than a luxury car. Collector insights. Because this coin is so iconic, it remains on every serious collector's wish list. However, beware of counterfeits and minor doubled dies from other years that are much less valuable. Always buy from reputable dealers or have your coin graded by PCGS or NGC. Avoid machine doubling varieties, and these look like flat, shelf-like doubles and are worth little. True 1955 doubled die examples show thick, separated lettering with rounded edges. Interestingly, the U.S. Mint never officially acknowledged this error in 1955. They simply let the coin circulate. That's part of what makes them so mysterious and desirable. Historical and cultural impact. This coin stands as a turning point in numismatic history. Before 1955, only dedicated collectors cared about mint errors. After 1955, the whole country did. The doubled die Lincoln cent transformed numismatics from a quiet hobby into a full-blown cultural movement. Even today, when new collectors begin their journey, this coin is often the first major error they learn about. It represents the magic of discovery, the idea that something extraordinary might be hiding in your everyday change. Metal composition and mint facts. Metal, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Diameter, 1905 millimeter. Edge, plain. Mint, Philadelphia, no mint mark. Mintage, approx for all 1955 cents, 330 million. But only 20,000 with the doubled die. So even though hundreds of millions were minted, only a tiny fraction became the coin everyone talks about. Legacy of the 1955 doubled die. Nearly 7 decades later, the 1955 doubled die still stands as the king of Lincoln errors. It's instantly recognizable, historically significant, and financially valuable. A perfect trifecta. It represents a rare moment when imperfection turned into perfection, when a simple working error created one of the most beloved coins ever made. Collectors call it the coin that started it all, because it truly did. And that's the story of the 1955 doubled die obverse Lincoln cent, the coin that turned an ordinary penny into an American legend, proof that even the smallest mistake can become a masterpiece. Coin number 4, 1970, no S proof, Roosevelt dime. They say mistakes make legends, and in 1970, inside the secure walls of the San Francisco Mint, a mistake escaped that was never supposed to exist, a dime without an S. A proof coin struck with the mint's highest care, but missing the very mark that proved where it came from. Today, that coin is one of the most valuable modern-era dimes in U.S. history. The 1970 no-S-proof Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime story. To understand why this little silver-colored coin became a sensation, let's rewind to 1946. The Roosevelt dime was first issued that year, just months after President Franklin D. Roosevelt's death. He had guided America through the Great Depression and World War II, and his image replaced the Mercury design that had graced the dime since 1916. Designer John R. Sinnott created the profile we still see today, a proud yet calm Roosevelt facing left, with the mottos "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" beside him. For decades, billions of these dimes rolled off presses at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, mostly ordinary, everyday change. But then came the 1970s, a time of great change for coinage itself. The age of the proof coin. In the 1960s, the U.S. Mint began producing proof sets once again, high-quality coins made specifically for collectors. These were not for circulation. Each coin was struck multiple times on weird, specially polished planchets, using polished dies, giving them a mirror-like finish and razor-sharp detail. By 1970, all proof coins were made exclusively at the San Francisco Mint and carried an S mint mark on the obverse. So when a dime left the mint without that S, something had gone seriously wrong. The error that shouldn't exist. Every proof dime of 1970 was supposed to have a tiny S mint mark just to the right of the date. But during production, one working die intended for regular proofs was accidentally not punched. With the S mint mark, that unmarked die was used to strike a small batch of proof dimes, perfectly made in every other way, sealed into official 1970 proof sets and quietly shipped out to collectors. The exact number is unknown, but experts estimate fewer than 2,000 pieces, and possibly much fewer ever escaped. No alarms rang at the mint. No one noticed until years later when collectors, while examining their proof sets, spotted something odd. Their 1970 dime had no mint mark at all. How to identify the 1970 no S proof dime? This coin is easy to miss, yet instantly recognizable once you know what to look for. No S mint mark. On the obverse to the right of the date there should be a clear S. On the error coin, nothing. Just a blank space. Mirror finish. It's a proof coin, so it has a deep mirror surface and frosted details, not the dull look of circulation dimes. Sharp strike. All features, Roosevelt's hair, the torch, olive branch, and oak leaves are crisp and fully detailed. Packaging. Genuine examples were originally found inside sealed 1970s proof sets issued by the mint. If you find one, do not clean or handle it. Leave it exactly as it is. Its proof surface is delicate and its value immense. Why it matters. Missing mint marks on proof coins are among the rarest U.S. mint mistakes because they happen before mass production even begins. Proof dies are inspected by hand, every letter, every mark. So a missing S means someone somewhere completely missed it during die preparation. Such coins blur the line between human error and pure accident. A mystery sealed in a perfect mirror of metal. Only a handful of no S proofs exist across U.S. coinage, including the 1968 no S, 1970 no S, 1971 no S, 1975 no S dimes, and the legendary 1990 no S Lincoln cent. But the 1970 no S stands among the earliest and remains one of the most desirable. Discovery and hype. The first confirmed discoveries surfaced in the early 1970s when collectors began carefully opening their proof sets. News spread fast through the numismatic community. A dime with no S, hidden in sealed U.S. mint packaging. Coin dealers and treasure hunters scoured every unopened proof set they could find, hoping lightning would strike twice. Prices skyrocketed almost overnight. By 1971, the 1970 no S proof dime was selling for hundreds of dollars and an astonishing sum when proof sets themselves cost less than $5. Decades later, that excitement hasn't faded. It's only grown stronger. Value and rarity. Today, depending on its condition, this dime can command staggering prices. Proof 65, $1,400, $1,800. Proof 67, $2,500, $3,500. Proof 68, $5,000, $7,000. Proof 69 Ultra Cameo, $10,000, $20,000 plus. In 2020, a PCGS graded PR69 DCAM sold for over $21,000. At auction, $21,000 for a single 10-cent piece. Only a few hundred high-grade examples are known today, making it one of the most coveted modern-era proof errors in U.S. coin history. Technical specifications. Type Roosevelt dime. Year 1970. Mint San Francisco, but missing the S. Composition. Copper nickel clad, outer layers 75% Cu, 25% Ni over pure copper core. Weight, 2.27 grams. Diameter, 1791 mm. Edge reeded. Mintage, regular 1970 S proofs, $2.63 million. Estimated 1970. No S proofs fewer than $2,000. Collector advice. Check all 1970 S proof sets. If you or your family have old proof sets from the early 70s, don't overlook the dimes. One missing S could mean thousands of dollars. Get it certified. Always submit possible fines to professional graders like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm authenticity and assign a grade that defines its value. Don't fall for circulation dimes. The 1970 no S is only a proof issue. Any normal circulated 1970 dime without a mint mark was made at Philadelphia and is worth 10 cents. The proof surface is the key. Preserve it. Keep it sealed, handle it by the edges, and avoid moisture or fingerprints. A proof coin's mirror finish can scratch or haze easily. The No-S family of errors. To collectors, No-S proof coins are a fascinating mini-series of their own. 1968 No-S Roosevelt dime, the first of its kind, discovered soon after proofs resumed. 1970 No-S Roosevelt dime, the second, rarer and sharper. 71 No-S Jefferson nickel is a similar mint mark omission. 1975 No-S Roosevelt dime, even scarcer, valued in the six figures. 1990 No-S Lincoln cent, a modern marvel of minting mystery. Each of these represents a lapse in the mint's meticulous process, and each has become a legend in its own right. Behind the scenes, how could it happen? Every proof die begins its life as a blank steel cylinder. Before it can strike coins, it's polished, engraved, and finally hand-punched with the S. The 1970 No-S dime likely came from a die prepared but never marked, yet accidentally installed among approved dies for production. Mint workers at the time never imagined collectors decades later would examine their every move under microscopes and magnifiers. They were just doing their job, turning out flawless proof sets as quickly as possible. Ironically, that unnoticed human moment created a legacy worth tens of thousands. Cultural and numismatic legacy. The 1970 No-S proof dime tells a story larger than metal. It's a tale about precision and imperfection, about how a single missing letter transformed an everyday coin into a national treasure. Collectors prize it not only for rarity but for meaning. That even in a system built for perfection, a flaw can shine brighter than perfection itself. Every time one of these coins appears at auction, it reignites that thrill of discovery. A whisper from the past saying, there are still mysteries hiding in plain sight. In a world overflowing with digital currency and virtual wallets, the 1970 No-S proof Roosevelt dime remains a reminder of something timeless. That real value often hides in the smallest details. A missing mint mark, a forgotten die, a perfect proof coin that shouldn't exist, yet does. And for those lucky enough to find one, it's not just 10 cents. It's a piece of American minting history worth more than its weight in gold. That's the incredible story of the 1970 No-S proof Roosevelt dime. The coin that lost its mark but gained immortality. Coin number 5. 1982. George Washington 250th anniversary $50. Before the American Eagle, before the Liberty Bell, there was a man, a general, a leader, and a legend whose name became the foundation of a nation. In 1982, the U.S. Mint decided to honor that man, not with paper or portrait, but with silver and legacy. This is the story of the 1982 George Washington 250th anniversary $50, the first modern commemorative coin of the United States, a coin that revived a proud American tradition after nearly 3 decades of silence, the birth of a new era in U.S. coinage. To understand the importance of the 1982 Washington $50, we have to travel back to a time when commemorative coins had vanished. The last official commemorative coin before 1982 was struck in 1954, honoring Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver. After that, Congress shut down the program. Too many designs, too many political battles, and too much controversy about who got to appear on a coin. For nearly 28 years, the Mint stayed silent on commemoratives. But that silence broke in 1982, and it broke with thunder. The U.S. Mint announced the return of the commemorative coin program, and the first coin would celebrate the 250th birthday of George Washington, the commander-in-chief who led America to independence and became its very first president. It wasn't just a tribute, it was a rebirth. Design and symbolism. Every element of this coin was crafted with purpose, respect, and artistry. The obverse, front. Designed by Elizabeth Jones, who would later become the U.S. Mint's chief engraver, it features a bold and elegant portrait of George Washington on horseback. Modeled after Jean-Antoine Houdon's famous sculpture, Washington's expression is calm yet resolute, reflecting both leadership and humility. Around him the words Liberty, 250th anniversary of birth, and the dual dates 1732-1982. It's not just a face, it's a symbol of the man who shaped the nation's destiny. The reverse, back, shows the Great Seal of the United States, the bald eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows and an olive branch, the ultimate emblem of strength and peace. The motto United States of America, the denomination $50, and E pluribus unum complete the design. It's a perfect balance between patriotism and artistry. Why this coin was revolutionary. The 1982 George Washington half dollar wasn't just a celebration, it was a turning point. It marked the revival of the commemorative coin program, a program that would later give us treasures like the Statue of Liberty, the Constitution Bicentennial, and the American Silver Eagle series. This coin was also the first U.S. commemorative coin struck in over 25 years, and the first 90% silver coin issued by the U.S. Mint since the end of the circulating silver era. Collectors instantly knew this wasn't just another half dollar. It was history, shining in silver once more, minting in composition. The 1982 Washington half dollar was struck at two different mints. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark. Regular uncirculated versions. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proof versions for collectors. Both were produced in limited numbers and sold directly to the public in special packaging. Specifications: denomination 50 cents, composition 90% silver, 10% copper, weight 1250 grams, diameter 3061 mm, edge reeded. Designers Elizabeth Jones, obverse, and John Mercanti, reverse. Mintage: Philadelphia 22-10-458, San Francisco proof 4894-44, the launch that made history. The coin's release on July 16, 1982, coincided with national celebrations of Washington's 250th birthday. Collectors, historians, and patriotic Americans lined up to order it. The response was massive. The entire issue sold out rapidly, proving the country was still deeply connected to its founding spirit. The coin was available for $10 in uncirculated form and $11 for proof, a small price for a piece of American pride. Each coin came with a certificate of authenticity and presentation packaging, turning it into both a collectible and a keepsake. How to identify a genuine 1982 George Washington half dollar. Obverse: Washington on horseback facing left. The date 1982 appears below, with the dual year 1732-1982 encircling above. Reverse: features the eagle with the Great Seal, holding arrows and olive branch. Mint mark: found on the reverse, below the eagle's right talon, S for San Francisco, proof, or none for Philadelphia, uncirculated. Finish: proof coins have mirror-like fields and frosted designs. Uncirculated coins show a satin-like finish with sharp details. Current value and market demand. Although millions were minted, the 1982 Washington half dollar remains a must-have for collectors, both for its historical importance and its silver content. Current value as of recent auctions: uncirculated, BU 59.25, proof PR 69, PR 70, 25, $60. High-grade proofs with deep cameo up to 100 plus. Special packaging or first issue sets can reach $150, $200. Silver melt value around $10, depending on current silver prices. But to serious numismatists, its symbolic value far outweighs its market price. It's the coin that brought silver back to life. Fun facts and collector insights. This was the first modern coin to feature George Washington not in his presidential portrait, but as a military leader. It was the first commemorative struck after 1954, reviving a proud tradition. The success of this coin directly inspired future releases, including the 1983 Olympic dollar and the 1986 Liberty half and silver dollar. Each sale of the coin contributed to the restoration of Mount Vernon, Washington's beloved estate, meaning every purchase helped preserve real history. Cultural significance. Beyond silver and design, the 1982 George Washington half dollar carries a deeper message. It symbolizes rebirth, patriotism, and legacy. In the 1980s, America was redefining its identity. The nation was entering a new era of technology, power, and global influence. But through it all, the values of leadership, courage, and unity and the same values Washington embodied still guided the heart of the country. This coin became a tangible reminder of those roots, a small piece of silver connecting the nation's founding to its modern story. Why collectors love it. For collectors, this coin is the perfect blend of historical significance, artistic beauty, affordable entry point, silver value, and symbolism. It's often the first commemorative coin that new collectors buy, and one that seasoned collectors never sell. Some even consider it the coin that changed everything, because it reopened the door to modern, U.S. commemorative programs, leading to dozens of beautiful coins that followed. Legacy of the 1982 George Washington half-dollar. Without this coin, we likely wouldn't have the modern commemorative series we enjoy today. No Statue of Liberty coins, no Constitution silver dollars, no National Park quarters. The 1982 issue proved that commemoratives could be elegant, meaningful, and collectible again, and that Americans were ready to honor their heroes not just in textbooks, but in precious metal. It was the rebirth of a tradition dating back to 1892, and a new era for numismatics began that day, the 1982 George Washington 250th anniversary half-dollar. Isn't just a coin, it's a bridge between past and present. It celebrates the man who led a revolution, the mint that revived a legacy, and the collectors who continue to treasure America's story in their hands. Every shimmer of silver tells us something powerful. That leadership, honor, and history never fade. They only grow more valuable with time. And that's the story of the 1982 George Washington 250th anniversary half-dollar, a coin born from the spirit of freedom and the spark that reignited America's love for commemorative coinage. And that was the story of 5 coins that changed history, each one a tiny piece of metal, but carrying stories of war, mistakes, hope, and fortune. From the 1937 D, three-legged buffalo nickel that proved perfection isn't everything, to the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, born from a human error that became a collector's dream. From the 1970 no-S-proof dime that vanished before the public ever saw it, to the 1982 George Washington half-dollar, struck to honor a nation's first hero. And finally, the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, the miracle penny that should never have existed, yet became one of the most valuable coins in American history. Each of these coins reminds us that value isn't always about what something's made of, but about the story it carries and the history it survived. So next time you look at your change, take a moment, because somewhere, maybe in your own hands, might lie a coin that tells a story worth millions. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because in the next episode, we'll uncover 10 more hidden treasures that could still be out there, waiting to be found, maybe by you. Until then, keep collecting, keep searching, and remember, in every coin, there's a piece of time that never stopped ticking.